Yeah, it was funny because I had read some of his other stories I mentioned from Exhalation before. And if you
Hmm.
read past Tower of Babylon in this book, you realize that many of the other stories do have protagonists and characters, and you do get a more conventional character driven story, whereas this had none of that. And you get it from the first few pages. It's a broad, sweeping narrative in a very unique setting that takes place over centuries. And yet the story itself is what, 20, 30 pages, something like that. So it's a unique read. I think I was I had the sensation like I was reading a fairy tale. And I
Hmm.
know fairy tales in particular, I think it was Philip Pullman who said that what marks a fairy tale as opposed to the fiction that we're more familiar with, like the novel, is the characters are almost devoid of being conscious. All the things that we typically relate to when we think about characters, jealousy, emotion, anger, hatred, right? These fairy tale characters, they don't have that. It's a very simplistic cause and effect world where we're not inside their heads. And this, you get that a little bit. I'll have some passages that I'll share where that gets into that territory slightly. But at the same time, in this story, you're totally on the outside looking in, and it feels like the characters are almost not real people as much as set pieces. And that was challenging,
Mm.
I think, for me. And yet, as you progressed, it got easier and it started to make more sense as this fairy tale, this fable, this story that was more of an allegory as opposed to something that would be more of a page turner.